I had an insight just yesterday, and I'm feeling inspired to share it because I'm rather thrilled about it. And the insight came after a period of intense reflection. As most of you know, I finished writing my book. Yay! And it's at the editor's right now, and she's editing it, which has created this month and a half of waiting. And I suck at waiting, but I'm realizing it was waiting with a purpose. Because in the noise and the thrashing around of waiting, I, I I heard my own voice deep down inside myself so much that I went inward and I trusted that and I went to see what was trying to talk to me. And how I do that is not gracefully, but I often will go to what I refer to as my sisters. And they are people like Oprah Winfrey and Christine Northrup. They're women of generations above me, and I watch their interviews and I listen to them talk and I look at TED Talks and I see if I can see myself in them somewhere or glean some crumb or crusty insight of awareness that would have me touch something in myself. And I did that recently. It was like a binge watching, and anybody who has followed me on Facebook can see that I'm posting all these videos. And so it first came when I was watching Oprah Winfrey Super Soul Sunday, and she was interviewing Christine Northrup, and she asked Christine Northrup, "Why are you here?" And Christine Northrup just said this phrase. I don't even remember what it was, but she was clear. She was clear in why she's here, and everything she has done has sort of aligned with that purpose. And it had me sit with a question of why am I here? And this is the question a lot of my clients will ask of themselves. And I think it's good to keep occasionally burping up that question to yourself. Why am I here? Especially in periods of time and change. So I've got this book that I've written, and I'm really sitting with like, what do I hope that does? Why did I do that? And what do I hope that creates in the world, that generates? And so I was thinking about this deeply. And yesterday I watched Oprah Winfrey, or a couple days ago, I watched Oprah Winfrey, and she was being interviewed by someone at the Stanford Business School. And again, that question came up. Why are you here? What's your purpose? And Oprah said, if you look at me externally, a lot of people think I'm a broadcaster or I'm a talk show host. And she's like, what I've come to appreciate about myself is that I'm here to raise consciousness. That is my job. That is my purpose in life. And everything that I do is about, is in line with that. It's having a bigger and bigger platform so that I can be seen and I can be heard above the fray and the noise of the world, so I can do my work to raise consciousness. And again, I thought, oh, that's so great. I want one. I want a phrase. I want to know what that is. And so I woke up last night and I had a new dedication to my book. And it was for the woman who feels alone or crazy or both. That is who I'm dedicating my book to, for the woman who feels alone or crazy or both, because that woman is me and will always be me. And from my vantage point, I hear women say this, am I alone? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? And I'm hearing all the women that I'm working with saying the same thing. I'm hearing them say what I say, which is, I have this idea. Boy, that's bothering me and I don't understand it. Am I crazy for thinking that? So everything that I want to do is to help women realize that they're not as alone as they think they are, and to help women see that they're not crazy. They're actually a heretic. They're actually onto something. They're having an errant thought that is actually really relevant and has a lot of substance and is actually very timely. That is my purpose. And I'm so clear on that now. And now that I get that, I look back to everything that I have done through She Changes, And I realized that's what She Speaks was about. That's what my evening of women's storytelling, when all these women would get on stage and they would tell their deeply personal stories, and I would see all the heads in the audience, and I would see the tears of understanding, because more and more people were realizing, oh, it's not just me. That woman's saying what I'm feeling. And so why is that important to me? I think it's important for women in particular, because when a woman realizes she's not alone, all of a sudden she validates herself. She allows herself to be right. All of a sudden a lot of courage moves in. All of a sudden a lot of conviction moves in. And she takes what she's thinking and feeling more seriously, and she puts it into action. So I'm feeling really strongly about that right now. Really, really excited about that right now. I'm seeing that everything I have done in my life, not just in this business, but in how I show up in the world, is about helping people to see that, helping people to connect to themselves and thereby connect to each other, and then to take it to action. And so my next iteration of that is that I get a lot of, I'm not doing She Speaks anymore. I'm not doing my Homecoming Women's Retreat anymore. What I am going to do, I've written this book, yay! But what I am going to do is I'm going to share my thoughts on things more in this format. I'm also writing my blog more. But I have a lot of people ask me questions around, what do you think about self-worth, and that what do you have? What do you have on that self-worth? And I'll toss out this TED Talk, or this concept, or this experience, or this thing that I've heard from my clients, or here's what I've learned over the years. And an individual woman takes that off, and off she goes. I want to broadcast that more, because I don't want it to be limited to women in Maine. I work with women all over the country these days. And so I'm going to take a topic periodically, and I'm going to put some food for thought into that topic, and I'm going to send it out into this platform. So if you want to stay abreast of that, if you want to stay connected to that, 3 ways, 1, 2, 3, of doing that. The first would be to follow my Facebook page if you're not already, because I'm going to take the videos and put them out there. The second is to follow my YouTube channel if you're not already doing that. And then the third would be to follow my blog if that's how you prefer to get that information. So stay connected, stay tuned, and know that you're not alone.